Well, welcome back to English 1301 Freshman Composition 1. We're in the midst of Topic 2 and Lesson 3, where we will discuss the ways in which you can review your paragraph once you've written it, and then look at how you might improve that paragraph. We start out with this roadmap to writing your paper. You have a minimum of 5 paragraphs. You have an opening paragraph, a closing paragraph, and in between, you should have 3 topic paragraphs. This is just kind of a standard for writing a paper. And again, if you're ever in a situation where you've got to write a paper and that paper is going to be seriously evaluated, just write these 5 paragraphs, okay? We also looked at the fact that a paragraph has a structure. So each of those 5 paragraphs will have an opening sentence, a topic sentence, they will have supporting sentences and conclusions. And you have to know when to move on to a new paragraph. Occasionally it can be difficult to tell where one paragraph should end and another begin. Luckily, there are many guidelines you can follow, which you can make the decision to move on to a new paragraph, an obvious one. The most basic guideline to follow is that every time you start to discuss a new idea, you should move on to a new paragraph. Paragraphs include a single idea. Rarely will you have a paragraph that includes 2 ideas. If it has 2 major ideas, then just make 2 paragraphs. And this statement is made that paragraphs should never contain more than one central idea. The central idea in the paragraph, the sub-concepts about that idea are included in the paragraph. That makes a good, clean, nice paragraph. One of the problems that people get into is they write a paragraph and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. When people read your work, they don't want to read a 6-page paragraph. People tend to read shorter paragraphs and then move to another shorter paragraph, and you can cover the same territory using a good format. A new paragraph is also used each time you're contrasting 2 points or presenting each side of an argument. For example, if your topic is, should civil servants receive lower salaries? One paragraph would deal with arguments supporting lower pay, and another would deal with arguments supporting higher regular pay. Paragraphs make a piece of writing easier to comprehend and give readers a break between new ideas. The paragraph has risen from the need to break up the paper to make it more understandable, more readable. And when you construct good, solid, right-length paragraphs, people are going to be much more likely to read your work. If you feel that your paragraph you're writing is becoming too complex and it's just running on or has many points in it, just break it up and have several paragraphs. That makes it a lot easier. When writing a paper, the introduction and conclusion should always be given their individual paragraphs. You have a paragraph to introduce, you have a paragraph to conclude. The introductory paragraph should define the aim of the paper and what it hopes to achieve. Again, you remember you have that opening sentence, that topic sentence that garners interest. Then you have the content, and then you have the concluding paragraph. The concluding paragraph provides a summary of the information and arguments contained in the paper and states in clear terms what the paper has shown or proven. The concluding paragraph may also introduce a new idea, but it needs to be one that opens the reader's minds to questions raised by the paper. Yes, in the concluding paragraph, you can bring on a new idea, but in doing so, what you're doing is summarizing the paper and then opening the reader to the concept that there may be something beyond that paper. Check your paragraph for spelling and grammar. It doesn't matter how many times you go back and read and reread and reread. The next time you go and read, you're going to find a grammatical error. But the more of them you find and correct, the less of them there are. You need to put in the time. Look for misspelled words. Look for poor grammar. And you live in an age of technology where artificial intelligence can whip in there and find things that look strange and outline them for you. It just makes writing so much easier. When you have a lot of spelling mistakes and use poor grammar, It can certainly significantly impact the perceived quality of your paragraph or your paper. Even if your ideas and arguments are good, your poor writing and poor grammar and poor spelling can detract from it to the point that people don't recognize it as good. You need to ensure that each sentence has a subject and that all proper nouns are capitalized and that the subjects and the verbs agree and so on and so forth. Use the same tense across the entire paragraph. If you write in first person, stay in first person. If you write in third person and are more stilted and formal, which you'll have to do in research papers, then stay in that. Don't shift back and forth. Use consistency. Be coherent and keep the same style. Stay on target. Remain consistent, and don't change around. You can't say, I believe that, and switch, well, one should find blah, 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 blah. Well, you're going to write in first person, stay in first person. I suggest to you that you begin to learn to write in third person. Third person is the much more formal way of writing, and it's what's expected in a research paper. Avoid passive voice. It is believed that you need to write in what we call active voice, and we will spend a little time with that as we review your papers. Decide when your paragraph is complete. You reread it, you read it, you reread it, you read it again. When is it finished? You know, it has to be finished sometimes. And if you feel that the main claim of your topic sentence is sufficiently supported and well developed by the contents of the rest of your paragraph, then your paragraph is probably complete. However, if the paragraph is shorter than 3 sentences, it likely needs a little more work. If it's too long, feel free to shorten it or to break it into 2 paragraphs. You just need to look at your paper objectively and determine when you think that paragraph is complete, and then you move to the next paragraph. Remember, you have an opening paragraph, you have 3 content paragraphs, and then you have the closing paragraph. Your task is now to write an introductory paragraph for your paper. And notice I have a grammatical error. Just notice it. Y-O-U, I left the R off. See, doesn't matter how many times you read, you're going to find those things. They need to be found and corrected. Don't panic. You've got this. You can write your paper, and you can make it effective.